Have you ever sat down at the end of a really long day when everything is quiet, when no one is asking anything of you, and in that moment you ask yourself a question that's painfully real but hard to answer? Why is it that you've tried so hard, stayed so busy, thought so much, and yet your life still hasn't moved forward that much? Have you ever felt like you're not lazy at all? You're not giving up. You're actually exhausted, but the results still seem stuck in the same place. Have you ever set a clear goal, even promised yourself that this time will be different, that starting tomorrow, you'll be more disciplined, more focused, more serious, but then a few days later, everything slips back to the way it was, as if no promise was ever made? Have you ever watched other people move forward, grow up, change, and accomplish the things you once wanted for yourself, and you wonder what they have that you don't? Are they smarter, luckier? Did they start with more advantages? Or did they simply catch the right moment? And while you're trying to find that answer, time keeps moving. Today starts looking exactly like yesterday, and you tell yourself, fine, I'll figure it out tomorrow. I've been in that exact place. I used to think I was unlucky, short on opportunities, missing a mentor, missing the right conditions. I believed that if my circumstances were just a little different, if someone supported me a little more, if life were just a little less hard, then maybe I'd be different. But the longer I walked, the more I experienced, the deeper I bumped into myself, the more I realized a truth that's hard to hear, but undeniably real. What held me back wasn't other people, it was me. Not society, not circumstances, not my starting point, but the moments I negotiated with myself, gave myself permission to procrastinate, and told myself, I'm tired today, tomorrow is fine. And I believe that if you're listening to these words, somewhere inside, you felt that too. The feeling that you know you could do better, but you don't. The feeling that you understand what's right, yet you live differently from what you understand. The feeling that you have potential, but you can't reach it. That doesn't mean you're not good enough. It means you're facing the hardest enemy any human being will ever have to face: yourself. Your greatest enemy has never been the person out there. Not someone more talented than you, not someone blocking your path, not society, not circumstances. Your greatest enemy is the weaker version of you. The part of you that craves safety, the part that prefers comfort, the part that chooses emotion over discipline, ease over commitment. And as long as you don't look that truth in the eye, you'll keep fighting the wrong battle. Today, I'm not here to talk about success in a flashy, glamorous way. I'm not here to tell get-rich-quick stories. And I'm not here to paint pretty dreams that have nothing to do with real life. I'm here to talk to you about a foundation that's quiet, rarely mentioned, but decides everything. Conquering yourself. Because no matter what field you're in, no matter what you dream of, no matter what stage of life you're in, if you can't conquer yourself, you won't go far. Conquering yourself isn't a slogan you hang on the wall to look good. It isn't a feel-good line you hear and then forget. Conquering yourself is the ability to do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. It's the ability to keep going when you haven't seen results yet. It's the ability not to let one weak moment ruin an entire long journey. And the three keys to that victory, the ones I'm going to walk through with you slowly, deeply, and honestly, are discipline, perseverance, and self-control. Discipline so you don't live at the mercy of your emotions. Perseverance so you don't quit halfway. Self-control so you don't trade your future for short-term comfort. These aren't lofty ideas. They're real, close to life, tied to the small decisions you make every single day. And if you're willing to stay, to listen, and most of all, to be honest with yourself, this journey can become the starting point of a very real change in your life. Conquering yourself, if we're being honest, isn't one explosive moment, and it isn't the day you wake up and suddenly become a different person. It's a slow, quiet process, rarely seen, yet heavy enough to shape an entire life. It happens on mornings you don't want to get up, but you do anyway. In moments you don't want to work, but you work anyway. In times when no one is watching, no one is praising you, and no one is giving you credit. And precisely because it's so quiet, so many people underestimate it. They chase motivation, they chase inspiration, they look for an external push, and they forget that what they need most isn't another reason to start, but a structure strong enough not to quit. I want you to understand this from the beginning. Conquering yourself is not about forcing yourself to become a cold machine. It's not about being harsh with yourself. On the contrary, conquering yourself is a very high form of self-respect. When you conquer yourself, you're telling yourself that your life is important enough not to be controlled by laziness, momentary emotions, or short-term temptations. And the first foundation of that victory is discipline. Discipline is a word that a lot of people want to avoid the moment they hear it. Because in their mind, discipline means restriction, loss of freedom, and force. But the truth is the complete opposite. Discipline doesn't take away your freedom. Discipline creates your freedom. When you don't have discipline, you're controlled by emotions. When you don't have discipline, you're controlled by bad habits. When you don't have discipline, you're controlled by ease. And that's not freedom, that's being led. People without discipline don't choose their lives, they drift through them. Discipline is the ability to do what needs to be done, even when you don't want to. It sounds simple, but that is exactly what separates the people who go far from the people who stop. Anyone can act when they feel inspired. Anyone can try when they're excited. But only disciplined people act when there's no excitement, when they're tired, when they're bored, when they're doubting. And those are the moments when discipline actually matters. I used to think I lacked motivation. I believed that if I had more inspiration, more of a push, more encouragement, then I would do it. But then I realized something very real. Motivation comes and goes. Some days you're fired up, some days you feel empty. Some days you believe you can do it, some days you doubt everything. If you wait for motivation before you act, you'll live a very unstable life. Discipline is different. Discipline doesn't ask whether you want to or not. Discipline asks one straight question. Does this need to be done? If it does, you do it. Brian Tracy once said that success is the result of doing simple things with discipline over a long period of time. Not big actions, but small actions repeated long enough. And this is where so many people go wrong. They think they need to do something huge, something dramatic, something explosive. But in reality, what changes your life is usually very small. Waking up a little earlier, focusing a little more, doing the important work before the easy work, keeping the smallest promise you make to yourself. And those small things, when they become disciplined habits, create massive differences over time. Discipline is also how you build trust with yourself. Every time you say, I will do it, and you actually do it, you add a little more trust in yourself. Every time you say, I won't quit, and you truly stand back up, you add a little more confidence. On the other hand, every time you break a promise to yourself, you're not just missing a task, you're telling yourself that your own words can't be trusted. Over time, you lose faith in yourself, and that is one of the most dangerous things. People who lose faith in themselves won't dare to set big goals, won't dare to pursue hard things, and won't dare to believe they can change. And I want you to hear this clearly. Discipline is not about doing everything perfectly. Discipline is about doing it consistently. Some days you do great, some days you don't, but you don't quit. You come back, you keep going. You don't let one bad day ruin a whole streak of good days. You don't use one slip as an excuse to give up. That is real discipline. But discipline alone is still not enough. Because a lot of people start strong, determined, and serious, and then they stop. They don't see results fast enough. They feel like they're trying, but not being recognized. They begin to doubt, and they quit. What they lack isn't the discipline to start, it's perseverance. Perseverance is the ability to keep doing the right thing even when you haven't seen results yet. It's one of the most underestimated skills, but it creates the biggest difference. We live in a world that moves too fast. Everything is marketed as achievable in a short time. Quick success, quick money, quick change. And that creates a dangerous illusion. If I'm doing it and I don't see results, it means I'm doing it wrong, or I'm not cut out for it. But the truth is, most things that matter require time to accumulate. Perseverance is waking up early, even when you don't feel different yet. Perseverance is training, even when your body hasn't changed. Perseverance is learning, even when you're not good yet. Perseverance is building, even when no one cares yet. In those phases, you're building the foundation. Foundations are never glamorous. They're underneath, invisible. But without a foundation, you can't build higher levels. I've gone through those phases too. Working hard every day, yet feeling like I'm going nowhere. Doing the work every day, yet the results staying small. And in those moments, I learned that perseverance is not an emotion, it's a decision. A decision to keep going even when I don't see it today. A decision not to quit just because I haven't been recognized. A decision to trust the process even when I can't see the destination yet. Jim Rohn once said, "You can't change your destination overnight, but you can change your direction overnight. And once you've chosen the right direction, your job is to stay on it long enough. Not fast, but long enough." Many people quit not because they're not talented enough, but because they're not persistent enough to give results time to show up. And then the third factor, the hardest one, and also the most decisive one in the most critical moments of life, is self-control. Self-control is the ability not to let momentary emotions decide your long-term life. There are days you're tired, days you're bored, days you're disappointed, days one sentence from someone hurts you. And on those days, it's so easy to destroy everything you've built. Self-control doesn't mean you have no emotions. Self-control means you understand your emotions and you don't let them drive. Emotions are like weather. Some days it's sunny, some days it's raining. You can't control the weather, but you can choose how you respond. People without self-control let emotions decide their actions. People with self-control pause, observe, and choose their response. Self-control is also the ability to say no to short-term temptations in order to protect long-term goals. You already know what this looks like in daily life. Sleeping in a little longer feels easy, but your life slows down. Scrolling a little more feels easy, but your work gets delayed. Eating a little more feels easy, but your health pays the price. Buying one more thing feels easy, but your finances break. Saying one more harsh sentence feels easy, but your relationships get damaged. Self-control is seeing the price and choosing the long-term benefit. And the most important thing I want you to understand is this. Self-control is not something you're born with. Self-control is a muscle. You train it, it gets stronger. You neglect it, it gets weaker. Every time you overcome a small temptation, you get stronger. Every time you stop yourself before an impulse, you get stronger. And those small victories, repeated long enough, create a very different person. These three factors, discipline, perseverance, and self-control, don't exist separately. They support each other. Discipline helps you start. Perseverance helps you continue. Self-control helps you avoid destroying what you've built. And when these three come together, you begin to conquer yourself in a way that's real, grounded, and lasting. And now I want you to go even deeper. Not just understanding with your mind. I want you to see it with images, feel it with emotions, and let what I'm saying touch something very real inside you. Because sometimes knowledge isn't enough. Sometimes you need something to wake up the part of your willpower that's been asleep. You need to see sweat, darkness, loneliness, the price of refusing to compromise. And I want to begin with an image that every time I think about it makes me realize I don't have the right to make excuses anymore. Think about Kobe Bryant, not Kobe in his glory in front of tens of thousands of fans, not Kobe under bright lights, not Kobe with trophies and applause. Think about Kobe on the early mornings, when the city was still asleep, when it was still dark, when no one was watching. An empty gym, cold lights pouring down onto the wooden floor, the steady echo of the ball hitting the ground, alone, over and over. No cameras, no social media, no one clapping, just one man and one commitment to himself. Kobe was there, training, not for one day, not for 1 week, thousands of days like that. There were mornings when his body ached and his mind was exhausted, yet he still walked onto the court, not because he always had motivation, not because he always felt excited, but because he understood something clearly. Greatness isn't built on feelings, it's built on discipline. He didn't ask whether he wanted to train today, he asked whether he needed to. And the answer was always yes. Kobe once said he didn't want to look back on his career and wonder if he could have done better. He wanted to know for sure he did everything he could. That sounds simple, but if you really think about it, it's heavy because it forces you to face a question very few people dare to face. When you look back one day, will you be able to say you gave it everything you had? Or will you have to live with the words, if only? I want you to pause here and ask yourself, if no one sees it, if no one recognizes it, if no one praises it, are you still willing to do what needs to be done? Because that is where character is forged. Not in the spotlight, but in the dark. Not when everything is easy, but when you're fighting your own fatigue and doubts. Kobe wasn't better than you because he had more time. He was better because he used his time with intention. And the truth is, anyone can do that if they're serious enough about their life. Now shift to another image. Ordinary, everyday, yet incredibly powerful. Will Smith and the treadmill. Will Smith once said that if he and you ran on a treadmill together, only two things could happen. Either you jump off first, or he dies on it. It sounds extreme, but behind it is a clear truth. Will Smith doesn't believe he's the most talented, the smartest, or the luckiest. He believes he can work harder than most people, and that belief became the foundation of his success. That treadmill isn't just exercise equipment. It's a symbol for every challenge in your life. The work you're putting off, the skill you're afraid to learn, the hard conversation you keep avoiding. Every time you step onto your own treadmill, you're facing a real question. Will you stop, or will you keep going? And every time you choose to keep going, even a little longer, you expand your limits. Will Smith understood that if he could conquer himself in those moments, he could conquer himself in any situation. And that is how he built his career, not on pure talent, but on uncompromising perseverance. He built a muscle in his mind, the muscle of endurance, the muscle of discipline, the muscle of not quitting. And when that muscle gets strong enough, it follows you into every area of your life. I want you to understand something very important here. No one can run for you. No one can feel the fatigue for you. No one can be disciplined for you. You can be inspired, you can learn, you can be encouraged. But when you're standing in front of the choice, it's just you with you. And that's where conquering yourself becomes real. No more philosophy, no more talk, just action. Now think about Steve Jobs, a man whose life was anything but smooth, being kicked out of the company he founded, being doubted, being criticized, being labeled a failure. Yet he didn't quit. Steve Jobs didn't just persevere with products, he persevered with vision. There were periods when he nearly lost everything, but what he never lost was the belief that his work mattered. Steve Jobs once said, "Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life." That isn't a distant philosophy. It's a practical warning. Because so many of us waste our lives living by other people's expectations, fear of judgment, and standards we didn't choose. We trade our lives to be approved. And one day we look back and realize we lived a life that wasn't ours. Steve Jobs taught me something deep. Perseverance isn't just enduring. Perseverance is enduring for what's right. Enduring for values, enduring for vision. And to do that, you have to conquer yourself every day. You need discipline so you don't get pulled into what's trivial. You need self-control so emotions don't throw you off course. You need perseverance so you don't quit halfway. 3 people, 3 different paths, but one common point. They didn't wait for perfect conditions. They started while afraid. They kept going while tired. They continued even when no one believed in them. They understood that no one could conquer life for them. No coach could train for Kobe on those cold mornings. No one could run on the treadmill for Will Smith. No one could feel the pain of rejection for Steve Jobs. Each person had to walk their own path, take responsibility, and pay the price for their choices. And that is what creates the difference. Not talent, not luck, but the ability to conquer yourself when no one is watching. Now I want you to come back to yourself, not to compare yourself to Kobe, Will Smith, or Steve Jobs, but to ask one honest question. If you keep living the way you are now, with your current habits, with your current choices, who will you become in a few years? The answer might make you uncomfortable, but that discomfort is necessary. Because only when you feel the pain of not changing will you have enough drive to change. Don't wait until it's too late to realize you traded too much time for things that don't matter. Don't wait until health declines, opportunities pass, and trust in yourself runs out, then ask why you didn't start earlier. The climax of this journey isn't in inspiring stories. It's in the moment you decide to act. Right now, you're standing at a real crossroads. You can go back to your old life, your old habits, your old promises that were never kept. Or you can take something from what you just heard and begin to change, even if it's small. I'm not asking you to change everything in one day. I'm only asking you to respect your life a little more. Start by keeping the smallest promise you make to yourself, because from there, you rebuild trust with yourself, little by little. And when that trust returns, you'll get stronger in a very real way. You won't need anyone to pull you forward. You'll pull yourself. You won't depend on motivation. You'll have discipline. You won't be afraid of slow progress. You'll have perseverance. You won't be tossed around by emotions. You'll have self-control. And then you'll realize something important. Conquering yourself doesn't drain you. It brings you to life. It makes you free. It makes you steady. It gives you peace because you know you're no longer a victim of yourself. Now, take a deep breath and stay with yourself for a little longer. No more climax, no more intense images, no more big stories. Just you in this real moment. Because after everything you've heard, the most important thing isn't how many inspiring stories you've listened to. It's what you're going to do with your life from this point on. Conquering yourself isn't about becoming perfect. No one needs you to be perfect. Life doesn't demand that. What life demands is that you be honest with the potential you've been given. Every person is born with the ability to become something better, stronger, deeper. But that potential doesn't become reality if you don't act. It needs discipline to be sharpened, perseverance to be nurtured, and self-control so it won't be destroyed by momentary emotions. I want you to understand that real success doesn't start from the outside. It doesn't start with money, fame, or validation. Real success starts from the inside, from the moment you master yourself. When you master your time, you stop living passively. When you master your emotions, you stop letting one weak moment ruin a long journey. When you master your actions, you stop living with regret. You may have wasted a lot of time in the past. You may have made choices you're not proud of. You may have quit too early, procrastinated too long, compromised too much. But hear this clearly. The past doesn't define you. What defines you is what you do from today. The past is a place to learn, not a place to stay. And the present is the most precious gift you have. When you start valuing the present, you stop trading it for short-term comfort. You stop selling your time to things that don't add value. You start thinking more carefully before every choice, because you understand that each day is part of your life. Every day you live carelessly is a day you'll never get back. But every day you live with awareness is a brick you lay down to build the person you want to become. Conquering yourself isn't one big victory in a single day. It's thousands of small victories every day. Today you wake up a little earlier. Today you finish the important task even without motivation. Today you pause before an impulse. Today you keep the smallest promise you make to yourself. And those small victories, repeated long enough, create a massive transformation. One day, when you look back, you won't remember every detail of the journey. You won't remember exactly how many tasks you did, how many challenges you overcame, but you will remember the feeling, the pride of not quitting, the peace of living by your values, the steadiness of knowing that no matter how life changes, you can still trust yourself. That's the feeling of someone who conquered themselves, not with one dramatic moment, but with uncompromising perseverance every day. If today you take only one thing from what I've shared, let it be this. You don't need to wait until you feel completely ready to begin. You just need to begin, and readiness will come as you move forward. Don't wait until you're confident to act, because action creates confidence. Don't wait for motivation to start, because doing the work creates motivation. Start with one small thing, but do it seriously. Keep the smallest promise you make to yourself. Wake up a little earlier. Focus a little more. Be a little more patient. Have a little more self-control. Don't underestimate small things, because repeated long enough, they will turn you into a very different person. Life isn't as long as we think, but it's long enough to make a difference if you don't waste it. Don't live like you have unlimited time. Don't postpone what matters. Don't let fear, laziness, or old habits choose for you. You have the right to choose, and you have responsibility for that choice. And from this very moment, you still have time. You still have a chance. You can still decide that you will no longer live below your potential. I believe you can do it. Not because you're more special than anyone else, but because you're human, and humans can change. Even if you've moved slowly, even if you've lost your way before, that doesn't stop you from starting again. The only thing that can stop you from becoming the best version of yourself is giving up. And I hope that from today onward, you won't do that anymore. If you find this video helpful, please leave a like, share it with others, and don't forget to follow the channel Success Made Simple so we can become the best versions of ourselves together.